Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat er nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
The strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. These are the kinds of subjects a man named Robert L. Ripley challenged us to
believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, you.
Wally, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it!
You're a loony.
The glass octopus is nearly transparent except for the eyes and organs. Believe it or not. The word astronaut comes from the Greek words meaning star and sailor. Believe it or not. Studies show that being near blue spaces lowers blood pressure, promotes calmness, and enhances mental health. Believe it or not. Brazilian tree hoppers sport a unique helmet of tiny hairy balls on their head. Believe it or not. In 2024, Yixing Textile Company in China made a pair of jeans that measures over 250 feet long. Probably for big techs. Believe it or not. Stanford researchers found that tartrazine, a yellow dye in foods like Doritos, can make mouse tissue temporarily see-through. Believe it or not. In 2012, a man wore 70 pieces of clothing on a flight to avoid baggage fees. Believe it or not. NASCAR drivers are not required to have a regular street driver's license. Believe it or not. McDonald's filet of fish was created for Catholics. The sandwich was introduced in 1962 as an alternative for Catholics who did not eat meat on Fridays. Believe it or not. Before Alcatraz was a federal prison, it was a fortified military site meant to protect the San Francisco Bay and even had cannons. Believe it or not. It is illegal to kill a Bigfoot in Washington State. Believe it or not. In 1974, eccentric billionaire and pilot Howard Hughes was part of a CIA plot to recover a sunken Soviet submarine. Believe it or not. Broccoli is a man-made food. Broccoli resulted from breeding crops in northern Mediterranean starting about the 6th century. Believe it or not. Scientists at the University of St. Andrews, Scotland, taught a grey seal named Zola to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and the theme to Star Wars. Believe it or not. In 2005, a man named Ronald McDonald was charged with stealing from a Wendy's fast food restaurant. Believe it or not. During temporary closures, Belmont Park in San Diego, California, still had to run its historic Giant Dipper roller coaster daily to keep it in good working order. Instead of human passengers, the park used giant stuffed animals. Believe it or not. The lighter was invented before the friction match. Believe it or not. The Timms family of Atlanta, Georgia, recently received a voter registration application in the mail addressed to Cody Timms, their cat, who died 12 years ago. Believe it or not. A rare, unopened copy of 1985's Super Mario Bros. Recently sold for $114,000, making it the highest-selling video games sold at auction. Believe it or not. Circus Roncalli in Germany uses holograms instead of live animals. Believe it or not. I'm skeptical of anyone who tells me they do yoga every day. That's a bit of a stretch. Blunt pencils are really pointless. 6:30 is the best time on a clock, hands down. 2 Wi-Fi engineers got married. The reception was fantastic. Geology rocks, but geometry's where it's at. I didn't think orthopedic shoes would help, but I stand corrected. It was an emotional wedding. Even the cake was in tears. Refusing to go to the gym is a form of resistance training. My friend's bakery burned down last night. Now his business is toast. The trouble with getting to work on time is that it makes the day so long. You'll always stay young if you live honestly, eat slowly, sleep sufficiently, work industriously, worship faithfully, and lie about your age. How can you tell you're getting old? When you go to an antique auction and 3 people bid on you. Winter, the season when we try to keep the house as hot as it was in the summer when we complained about the heat. It's not the fall that kills you, it's the sudden stop at the end. If supermarkets are lowering their prices every day, why isn't anything in the store free yet? Why does someone believe you when you say there are 4 billion stars, but checks when you say the paint is wet? Elephants don't use computers because they're afraid of the mouse. 3 years ago, my doctor told me I was going deaf. I haven't heard from him since. My dog is a genius. I asked him what is 2 minus 2, and he said nothing. I'm so good at sleeping, I can do it with my eyes closed. What are you watching? It's one of those shows where they flip houses. A litigation. The fact is, the peck of pickled peppers you, Peter Piper, picked was on private property. An ark, Noah. I said an ark. I can't get anybody to read them. They said they'll wait for the movie. Dr. Seuss as a prosecutor before he decided to write children's books. Too wet to go out, yet he saw him fall. He just sat in his house and did nothing at all. Stop making stuff up, Jeremy. Miss Grunwald is not conducting experiments to turn her cats into colossal killers, for goodness sakes. Acme shopping carts. Jenkins, you're turning out carts that don't clatter, wobble, or pull to one side. What seems to be the problem? Well, I'm not sure. I guess it's been washed. Just ignore his new tattoo, Helen. He's just trying to get a reaction. The fridge and dishwasher are over there, and over here is the range where the deer and the antelope, you know. I'm sure you won't mind if my private detective asks you a few questions before I give you my final answer. Big deal. My medals beat your medals any day of the week. Now, here's one of the mysteries of the universe. Which came first? Are you for real? Look at this. The worm's dead, and you made no effort to conceal the hook. I mean, do I have stupid written all over my face? So, you think I'm dealing with my feelings of confinement and being tied up in knots by unconsciously projecting them onto others? Wow, I never looked at it that way before. Pest control. Of course you have ants. You live in a giant cookie. Life before the remote. Must keep going. Can't stop now. Yes, I made it. Click. Uh-oh. Now I gotta get all the way back to the couch. There go that snob Neanderthal Yogg. Always park sideways so not to get ding on fancy granite wheel. Welcome to Singles Night, featuring the Spin Cycles. Hey, Bobby's back. Today, my podcast comes to you from a corner of the room where I've so unfairly been given a timeout. To start the show, I'm going to give you a good look at the very mean mommy who put me here. Let's go over this again. These rocks in my hand, hard currency. Those marks on the wall, cryptocurrency. Okay? I still don't get it. Free to a good home. Fluffy's having a little trouble adjusting to the new puppy. Think tank. Think outside the think tank tank. Zero. Yours says 0 too. These Fitbits are worthless. They say that due to global warming, it's going to rain for 80 days and nights. Come live with me in my adventure strip, Rhonda. Aren't you tired of living for some silly little joke in a single panel day after day? It would drive me stark raving mad, that's for sure. I did say I like guys who make me laugh, but are rim shots really necessary? The first time someone liked a post. Post inspector. Nice job. Look up. Widen the eyes. Not bad, but that's not a gimme some turkey face. Come on, Frank. Dig deep. My partner will rejoin us just as soon as he coughs up that hairball. Failed attempt at camouflage to escape the bath. If you identify a UFO as a UFO, then it becomes an FO. Unless it has landed, then it's simply an O. Thank you. Have you noticed the and IRS spells theirs? And that concludes another Opa's Corner.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
Opa's Corner is now available on my own YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.